Where in your world are cracks forming? Not from bad intent, but from silence, from you not checking, from you not taking feedback, seeing mistakes and not fixing those mistakes. And where do those cracks start to show? So you as the leader, if it's you by yourself or you with a team, how do you make sure, how do you do your best to make sure those things will happen again? All right. Most billion failures don't come from bad intentions. They come from silence, from the follow-up that never happened, from the conversations sometimes someone is too tired to have, or from the gap that somebody on the team doesn't close. Now, intent is nice. Of course, we have to be intentional, but intention doesn't build trust. Systems do. Yo, my name is Clive Morrison. It's the end of the day report. And if you're joining me on this journey where we're talking about building the Black businessman coaching business, and of course the cleaning business, we really one brick at a time. Now, it's all started off a long time client reached out to me, right? And she asked for a service before Sunday. So she promised, she hadn't called me, she didn't even call the office. She called my number personally. So I knew she was a long time client. And I was like, yeah, we're going to call you 8:15 when the office open. She waited. We didn't call. And nah, it wasn't because we didn't care, but because nothing caught the promise. I just took the call. I didn't put it in the system. Now, no reminder, no system, no one responsible. I gave it to the team in the morning time, but I didn't give them great instructions. And I called her again. I called her myself, didn't answer. Opportunity just died. And now a rejection with no reply. B. So that was a lesson yesterday. Then came an exit conversation. I had one of the VAs who left our company. And she had said, yo, I'm just burnt out. Because I had seen signs of her not doing the job great, we had this conversation. She was like, I had already left. I'm focused on other things. This is not exciting for me anymore. But my biggest thing was she didn't trust me to come and say, hey, I'm feeling burnt out. And I'm like, what in our environment didn't do that? We had this conversation and we saw that it was just things that I could do better, that she could do better, that we could have, that going forward it lasted. But there was no blame. No, it was just, hey, this is what I wanted. This is what I want to do. And she got a recommendation. I told her to just, look, I'll help her get another job and everything. Last, we had I said last, but the next thing was the cleaning company. So we had our 90-day vision, talking about what we want for the next 90 days. We talked about the numbers. We talked about team culture. And I'm going to do a deep dive on that because I got to break down the whole video because of what we did, what we talked about, numbers, everything like that. But I'm going to have a video on that, on what our 90 days is looking like and go from there. But that was great. Then we had our accountability group for the Black businessman. Every Thursday, me and the brothers, we meet talking about business. And yesterday was very good, that we're humans, that this is the thing about, we are Black men going through business in a certain way. And it's what the accountability group is. One of the men came in yesterday and he was drained. He was tired. He was nervous. But when we broke it down, and when not just with some hoopla, rah, 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 and everything's going to be better, but we actually broke down what would it look like going forward? What's actually a fear in our mind that's not a reality, that we're just looking at things and we're not seeing it. Because the first thing is always to state the facts. Once we state the facts, then we can say, hey, what's the plan moving forward? Where are we and what do we want and where do we want to go to and how are we going to get there? Now, all of these things just show me that my goal is to show up and be a leader, because I have to set the tone. People have to believe that they can trust me. I have to make sure that the systems are not failing. I have to give the people empowerment when we're doing it, not blame, but say, how do we fix mistakes? Our thing is not a blame culture. Our thing is to say, hey, something happened. Let's see where we can fix it to prevent it from happening now. Right? So the reality of building is that it's not fireworks every day. It's just steady hands fixing the cracks before they spread, building the real foundation. All right. Let me turn it back to you. Where in your world are cracks forming? Not from bad intent, but from silence, from you not checking, from you not taking feedback, seeing mistakes and not fixing those mistakes. And where do those cracks start to show? So you as the leader, if it's you by yourself or you with a team, how do you do your best to make sure those things will happen again? All right. But anyways, another day, another opportunity, man. Stay focused, stay blessed. I'm out. Peace.